Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Well, today, after 2 years of flying FPV, I lost my first quad. And the disturbing part is, I really have no idea why that accident happened. It ditched into the ocean, and well, I didn't have any pre-warnings why. So the last frame of the goggles recorded I will share at the end of this video, but I will build up how it came to this situation. 5 hours later, I went back to the beach side of that crashing location in hope I can retrieve it with my kayak, paddling out there and diving down. However, that is a bit difficult since there are some high waves occasionally occurring and the dive is about 4 to 5 meters, and was a bit risky for me. I really wanted to have the DG Action 2 back for analysis of the quad and to see what really happened. But I'm reaching out here and maybe some of you have a great idea. So let's roll the intro and dive right in after. Irony, diving in. Yeah, this time around it really is diving in. Okay guys, this now here is the first flight. The flight right before the accident happens. I let it play in case there's an indication you find in the footage why that crash occurred. I couldn't find anything. I usually don't over tighten my prop nuts. I didn't change the props before this second flight. I had a few flights in and the maiden flight was 2 or 3 days before this accident really happened. I didn't change anything, just some tune changes, but absolutely no physical changes. No changes regarding the props or anything else. Around here is usually the farthest location I take my quads out. It is about 1.5 kilometer offshore, and there are never any issues with the radio, the LQ, the RSSI, and also the video link of the DJI goggles. I have really good reception and there's never any disturbance in it. And since this is a brand new build, it never crashed, it never got wet. It had a few flights in where it behaved perfectly fine, so I don't think it is a hardware component which failed just suddenly. Of course, something happened and something failed, just it's puzzling me that there is no clear indication what that was, so that I can avoid that from now going forward. And there to the right, there is the crash location from the second flight coming up soon. So in this first flight, I'm hanging a little bit left and go back to shore. So that is the only difference here. The wind and the speed between 80 and 60 km per hour is pretty much the same, and there's no change for the flight condition in that regard. The great thing about the Rekon 6 frame is, when building it up, it is a really super lightweight, long-range quad which can have a payload like a GoPro or DJI Action 2, even better because it's lighter. And you have really great flight times and you can produce good footage. You have good cruising speeds, you can fly far out, and you have a light quad with all the benefits that it's not eating too much into the battery, whatever you put on it. So I'm flying it with 2200 milliamp 5S here right now, and with that one I can get really plenty of flight time, at least 15 minutes, but if I don't push it too much it can go over 20. The build video I will also share shortly, and if it's already available I will link it at the end of this one here or in the description below. If you have interest in what exactly went into this build, you can check that one out. The highlight in this build over the stock bind and fly Rekon 6 are the FPV cycle 21mm motors. I think they're a significant improvement for how they perform and how efficient they are over the stock bind and fly Rekon 6. I have both. I have the bind and fly from Rekon and my own build, and I'm flying them back to back, and I really like both. But I'm really happy with how my own build turned out, and I'm really sad that it is now at the bottom of the ocean. So that's why I really hope I can figure out what happened, that I can avoid that, because I will rebuild that quad, definitely, because I really like how it flies and how efficient it is. And I ordered already the motors and the frame again. I will put probably a different flight controller on, but besides that it will be pretty much the same build. So yeah, if any one of you has a great idea what could have gone wrong, let me know in the comments below. That would be really appreciated. And here I'm coming in for landing, just putting a new battery pack on, the same which is on the first flight, the 5S 2200 milliamp LiPo, and my DJI Action 2, which is also at the bottom of the ocean. So the flight footage you are seeing is actually recorded in the goggles. And here now we are starting with the second flight, which is basically the same route I took with the quad in the first flight, hanging a little bit right to the weather station out there in the ocean and flying then back to shore, a little bit more hanging right, but overall the wind directions and everything, the height and the speed is basically the same. Here I'm deciding to hang a little bit more to the right of this little fishing boat, and that overall pushes me a little bit more to the right compared to the first flight. And looking then in the distance for my next target, I'm a bit closer now to those barriers, these concrete blocks in the ocean, which are protection against higher waves in bad weather conditions, typhoons and all that kind of sorts. And I'm targeting that one. And that is leading me then to that point where the quad is falling out of the air. The only thing I can think of is that there may be some birds around here which were flying behind me, but I was not too slow and I cannot imagine that a bird was attacking, but it almost looks like. And here it goes. that is now the last frame of the goggles which I recorded. My muscle memory led to disarming, and that is the reason why that was the last frame. I then went back to the beach where that happened, tried to take my kayak paddling out there and diving down, but it turned out to be quite deep, like 4 to 5 meters, and there are higher waves occurring on the surface because of these concrete blocks, and I gave up on doing that. And well, the quad and the DJI Action 2 is at the bottom of the ocean, and I gave up on trying to get them back. So if you have any great idea what happened, please let me know in the comments below. The build video of this quad I will link at the end of this one here and in the description below. If you have interest, check that one out. And as always, thanks for watching, have a great rest of the day, stay safe, and see you in the next one.